All right. Well, I just got my camp set up, just set up my tent, and I just was looking around, and there's a nice river here up in northern Michigan near the Manistee National Forest. The area that I'm at has reports in all directions when you look on the Bigfoot mapping project. It's kind of cool looking here. I don't know if it's necessarily anything, but some trees leaning a couple directions, just kind of cool. Hear the creek right there. Beautiful day where I was. The weather wasn't looking great, but up here in Michigan it looked good, so I figured I would take a chance and check it out up here. It's always cool being near a body of water. It's a quiet one here too. This part anyways. All right, well, I'm starting out a hike. Not in the northernmost parts, but basically in northern Michigan. Oh, I just noticed that right through there, kind of in the center. It's almost like an X, but it's hard to say. It's a lot of trees and angles and stuff like that, but haven't really seen any definitive arches or anything yet. Just getting started though. It is really thick. But yeah, just gonna have a look around and see if I could find some interesting stuff and just hopefully have a nice hike. One thing I noticed here, it's kind of odd, is this tree that's horizontal and the root ball's up right there. That's kind of strange. Just like wedged in there. Hard to say. Could have just fallen over, I suppose, and landed that way, but it's kind of odd. A lot going on in there. Can't really say what or if anything did any of it, but a lot of trees, a lot of dead trees. Notice right below this, all the bark is just in like a pile there. And it's basically peeled most of the way. Pretty smooth, no branches on it. That's a bit of a pattern I've seen. Trees like that. Just zero branches. Really smooth. I don't know if that used to be a branch, probably not. A little further in, I noticed that sort of cluster of trees. It almost looks like it has a little bit of intentionality to it. Maybe. Big tree right there with a nice bend to it. Of course, you can't really rule out snow load in an area like this, but taking note at least. A couple broken trees here. One there, one right down there. That one's right there. Doesn't look super rotted or anything. Try to zoom in on it. Where I'm at has quite a few reports in all directions, so I would say going by that, it's established that Sasquatch are or have been all around the area. It's definitely a different kind of forest than the Midwest. Lots of pine trees. Really thick parts like I'm looking at right now. you can still see pretty far through. And today, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I'm gonna be kind of going along a river. That's pretty cool. It's sort of like an X right there, actually. Looks like that broke off up there and landed there or something. Yeah, so we'll be by a waterway for a bit of this. That right there is one of the closest things that I've seen to an arch. I was just thinking how many I saw in the area of, I believe the last video I put up, I only put a fraction of them in the video. And here, where there's quite a bit more snow load, number of hours further north, that's the first one I've seen, or one of the first. I've seen one or two other possible, but nothing, no really nice definitive arches. Kid you not, just a few steps further, just after I said I have not seen any definitive arches. And that's a pretty cool one right there. That looks a little bit odd. Bit out of place. That's kind of cool through there too. The way those are all angled right there in the center screen. But also, I'm wondering if I have one more right over here. I think we do have a really cool one right here. Wow, look at that. Oh, that's odd. That is cool. Nice little broken tree right down there. I'm talking about not having seen a definitive arch, and there's one, and right there is the other one I was just looking at. Too cool. Kind of glanced around, and there's a few other little things I noticed in this area, considering there's two arches, and if these were possibly handiwork. I'm noticing these couple of broken branches up in this tree, right up there. That's a bit strange. A couple of them, and that one's kind of splayed out, center screen there. Almost looks like pressure to me pushed it down. Hard to say what did it, but just taking note. Got a little clearing here, some logs. Right here's that pretty definitive arch, the first one, and right through there it's almost like an X. I don't think they're touching. One other thing right next to this possible arch, or a limb falling, is this little break right here, little broken, tiny little broken tree. Here's these that looked kind of like an X from a distance. They're not touching, but if you can see right behind them, it kind of does look like an X right there. If you look at it that way, it's almost like two X's. That's pretty cool. This little vantage point, a little bit up. Beautiful. Sort of like looks like a railroad crossing over there. Beautiful day. Sounds like a Maybe a Mustang in the background there. Not only do we have a waterway, but we also have train tracks. This would be pretty cool to walk down sometime, see what you see, especially on those straightaways. Well, there's another possible arch. It's a beauty. Maybe one below it too. Serenity. Well, this is just too nice not to stop for a little break. This little bench over there. Bunch of down trees behind it. Big bird just flew. I don't think I caught that. I was watching it. If that was a hawk or maybe an owl. It's about that size. I don't think too many owls fly around in the daytime, but just kind of had those proportions. Oh, looks like another beautiful arch straight through there, possibly. Right there. Right down there is a little spot where I took my break, but I wanted to come up and have a look at this. Looks like another possible X. A theme. Look over here, there's one on the ground too. There's another archy looking tree. Seems like ever since I said that, I start seeing a bunch of them. Lots of ferns and pines. Oh, look at this right here. Stick in the middle, little one for good measure. Huh. Another one that's kind of bent, and lots that are not. Broken tree right there. And then here there's like a part of a tree just caught up in there in that Y. And then there's these three that are sort of all intersecting up there. It's pretty cool, and that one's broken down the bottom. Yeah, I just like to look at stuff like that and wonder, could they possibly be structures? I'm not as interested in absolutely proving it with, it's kind of bent right there behind that tree, with absolute certainty. Like, did Sasquatch definitely do this? I'm pretty sure they are or have been through these areas. So I just like to look. Curiosity. Like that right there, that bunch of parts of a tree all kind of bunched together there. It's kind of strange. It is a beautiful day. There's another possible X. Looks like that was broken right there and ended up that way. And then right here, it's another bent tree, kind of like an arch, with a limb leaning on it. And another one there. One that possibly looks bent right here too. And one right there. I definitely think this area looks interesting. Definitely odd. There's that one. Just some interesting bends in there. This one right along the trail here. That's kind of cool right through there too, and the way those all are. Because then if you look this way, it just kind of ends. You don't really see that stuff right here, just back there. Over here, it's just kind of regular looking for the most part. Read the sign correctly. Apparently this is like a single campsite along the trail. How cool is that? And then there's this that's kind of interesting. It doesn't look all too rotted up there. Maybe a little. Could be natural. It makes you wonder though. Might have scared some people out of setting up a tent here. And you got the train tracks over there. Nice bench. Butterfly. I always try to catch them. And we have water down there. Definitely a cool place to camp. And just all forest behind that way. Cool is this? I love the little rewards along the way. It's sort of like a sandy hill going down to the water. Looks like some tracks down there too. Probably deer, I'm guessing, but I think I'll go check it out. Look at this though. You can see I'm the only person that has come down this in a little bit. These are kind of interesting. They're like small and foot-shaped. But it could be kids that hiked or whatever. We are definitely right off the trail. Not sure about those. Love looking at tracks though. Yeah, I don't know what that might be. So there's one set of small prints that, I mean, it almost looks foot-shaped, just going across. That's interesting. I don't know. Those are mine in the middle. So these are the little ones. I don't know what that is. I kind of don't think it's a kid, just I don't see like any grown-up prints or anything like that. Go peek over here, there's some more this way. Look at that, it's like a purple rock. That's cool. So there you go. Maybe it's just deer. Not sure. These are pretty small, so maybe it is a deer. These look like deer here. Some cool rocks. These were the ones that I initially saw. They might be deer. That looks maybe deer-ish. Just kind of spread out because they're in the sand sinking in. Here's right in front of me. Are you kidding me? It's like a little beach. Great place to kayak. I mean, it looks like it to me anyways. This track, that's kind of odd. So that one and that one. Because those are mine right there. That's pretty cool. I'm thinking this one here is definitely an arch because there's really nothing holding it down. It's almost sort of woven in to this. This right here is just leaning here. And if you just look at that, how that came down and then it had to be placed there. There's no way that part of this tree would just slide in there. And there's nothing holding it down that would have just like grabbed it from the top and pulled it down like that. So that's pretty cool. Came across this open area. The colors are amazing. Right in the middle is a tree break similar to I've seen a number of times. It's just broken and it's almost shaped like an arch, but broken in the middle. Man, look at this. And it looks like only one of these trees is broken. That's a ways up, I don't know, 20 feet or so, 25 feet. No other ones. Just that one. More arches here. That one's cool. That one. And there's actually one over there with a couple trees over it. So maybe they happened from the falling trees. It's possible. They're beauties though, either way. Love that one. Right there. Here, where these arches are, is really thick. Can't see very far at all, any direction. One thing I'm noticing right here is there's not a lot of wildlife sounds. Just the wind. So they must have done some logging here or a prescribed burn. It's all saplings. Well, there's a sound, like a bird sound. Kind of like a whistle. I'm thinking it's a bird. And there caught my eye, so I figure I'll zoom in on it. I doubt it's anything, but where is it? Way back there. Center screen there. Just a little bit further, and we can hear wildlife. Wonder what that noise is. That noise right there. There it went. No idea. I'm gonna see if I can catch it again because it heard it just a tiny bit louder a second ago. Right there. I actually stopped to have a look at this. Which kind of looks odd the way those are all at angles and stuff. Hard to say once again, but taking note. Might all just be natural. That's a little bit odd. There's that sound again. Huh. Right after I said odd. That's like a teepee. Let's see here. Wow. Seeing like a pasture there, so maybe that sound was a cow. Look at this though. Wow. Is there that group of trees all sort of up in like a teepee, but also here, kinda. Wow, that is cool. I don't know if that's natural. Look at that too. Kind of odd. Almost like an X right here. Can't really see the X, but you can see them crisscross. Yeah, there's that. That's like an X. Wow. Broken tree here. And then here's a different angle from, it's hard to see them from here. Group of trees from a slightly different angle. There's quite a few all kind of bunched up into that. See it better a little further back. Not quite so sure that was a pasture I was looking at. It might just be where trees were cut. I don't know what that sound was. Maybe a cow or something else. It's a beautiful arch. And strangely, this one is held down by that. The piece that was cut. Kind of makes me wonder about the other stuff here. Like that tree break there. It also has one, looks like a limb leaning up against it. Then you've got this right here that was broken off and leaning on those. That's a beauty there though. Break there that looks twisted. Little picture perfect arches right here. Big one and a little one underneath it. And right next to that is this, sort of X-shaped. That's cool right here though. Let me back up so you see the hole. There we go. That is cool. I love the little one. Another beauty. Well, little did I know I'd be seeing a lot of arches today. Well, these two are sort of bent and then crisscrossed right there. And a little while later, there is still a view of the water. So I'm running along it a little ways away though. Cool is this? Look at those pines, huh? And this big clear cut in front of them. You got this bench and then you're overlooking that. Definitely doesn't look natural there. That's cool. Kind of looking at it over here too. But especially that. Just in a very uniform pine forest. Sure makes you wonder if anybody's out there looking. Just beautiful. Not sure what that green is down there. I don't think it's grass, but it's so cool looking. It's like green cotton. So I had to make a judgment call as I'm coming up on the halfway point. In theory, I'm gonna kind of hustle for a little while because I got a few hours until dark, or like 5, but I noticed this, another arch in the middle of all these trees that are all straight up, and then there's just this one bent like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a good pace for a little bit, and I'll stop for anything cool like this. Right after that arch is that broken tree there, and looks like 2 crossed, tucked inside right there. That one's too cool right there. Nothing holding it down. And you got this. I think that's got to be a deer down there. Cool. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Let's make out the deer. Hey there. So that sound I heard earlier, and I was looking out, and I was like, is that pasture? I'm pretty sure this is the other side. There's not even any roads or anything out the direction I was looking. So I don't know what that was. But I'm thinking it wasn't a cow hanging out here. See areas like this, I just want to come out here when the sun's going down and just stare out there, maybe with a pair of binoculars. There's some different tracks. That right there, that one. It's about as wide as my hand right there. Like claws up front, but they're really short, like they're really wide but short. I don't really it's a bear. Almost looks like a bear right there. Yeah, maybe that's a bear. Yeah, I think so. Beautiful. Arched tree, quite a few of them today. It's interesting because nothing's holding it down. So maybe it was done a while ago and grew out of it. But there's also tons of saplings, and not one other one is bent like that, which I think would probably rule out snow load. Pretty cool. Well, I was kind of thinking I'm probably good on pointing out arches, but here's one more. I always think it's interesting when it's a big tree, pretty thick tree. That's 4 or 5 inches across. And it's just got a big limb holding it down. I've seen that, like the top of a tree. That is cool. Definitely seen that a few times. Definitely makes me wonder if it's put in place that way. And right next to it is this limb tucked in here. Old one with no bark. And there's the arch right there. Well, I think this is a cool place to end the video. That's so cool. Beautiful. Didn't even notice this earlier. It's kind of cool. See, those smaller trees are kind of bunched up down there too.